To join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Commissioners, if you'd like to join me up at the podium, we have a proclamation to read. Please, come on up. You have your prepared statement, right? This is a proclamation for the 97th anniversary of the National League of Women Voters. League of Women Voters Making Democracy Work Today for August 26th of 2017. Whereas the League of Women Voters of Clermont County is where hands-on work to regard democracy leads to civic improvement, and whereas the League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan political organization that has fought since 1920 to improve our system of government and impact public policies through citizens' education and advocacy. And whereas Women's Equality Day, August 26, marks the 97th anniversary of the passage of the 19th Amendment to the United States Constitution, which gave the U.S. women full voting rights. And whereas League members are constantly striving to serve their communities to improve the quality of life of all citizens. And whereas the League of Women Voters of Clermont County collaborates with other organizations to achieve mutual goals, increase civic participation, create lasting changes in the community, and to make democracy work. And whereas the League for 97 years has held the public trust by respectively bringing elected leaders and the public together through non-partisan civic means and through thoughtfully advancing solutions. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the County Board of Commissioners, do hereby declare August 26th of 2017 as the League of Women Voters Making Democracy Work Day in honor of the League of Women Voters 97th anniversary, and urge all citizens of Clermont County to acknowledge the significance of the League of Women Voters in our community. And it's signed by myself, Commissioner Humphrey, and Commissioner Painter. So, thanks for accepting it. Come on up here. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. On behalf of the League of Women Voters, Clermont County, we thank you for the proclamation, and thank you for your support.
Good. Are there any events going on to mark the 97th?
I was just speaking to Commissioner Humphrey. We have our Orphagatch dinner, which is August 29th at the Holiday Inn, and usually one of you gentlemen would like to come and present the proclamation for us. So if you would like to put your heads together and see who would like to join us that evening, we would appreciate it.
Can anybody attend the Orphagatch dinner?
Anybody can attend that Orphagatch dinner. It's a celebration. We honor women in Clermont County for their volunteerism and their leadership. We have 6 honorees that we are honoring that evening, and one of them will be the recipient of the Orphagatch Suffragist Award. It's a very lovely evening, and it is August 29th at 5:30 at the Holiday Inn Eastgate. So please join us. There's more information on our website if anybody would like to.
And the website address is?
LWV
Clermont, I think.
Yeah, LWV. If you just Google League of Women Voters Clermont County, you'll come up, and all the information is on there. So.
All right. Yeah, well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a Facebook page.
Picture, David.
Can like us.
Picture, David.
Okay, picture.
Want us to step out of the center?
Oh, sure. Thank you.
You hold on to it, stylish.
1, 2, 3. Maybe one more. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you very much. We appreciate
You
it.
bet.
Thank you.
You don't have any more proclamations or anything?
If I did, I'd have you read the next one. Okay, you all have copies here. I know the commissioners received the consent agenda end of last week, and we reviewed it, and I believe I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as shown.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Yubel?
Yes. And flipping over to page 6, the non-consent agenda, the first item is to pay our bills in the amount of $1,348,813.63, Resolution 121-17. Can we get a motion to pay our bills?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Yubel?
Yes. Item 14. Hey, Connie, good morning.
Good morning. Connie Tibbetts, with the Department of Job and Family Services. Recommendation of Judy Eschman, the Director, Department of Job and Family Services, with the concurrence of Thomas J. Eigel, Assistant County Administrator, to authorize David H. Ubel, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute a group sales agreement by and between the Board of Clermont County Commissioners on behalf of the Clermont County Department of Job and Family Services as the administrative entity for the Southwest Ohio Regional Training Center located in Clermont, Ohio, and Holiday Inn and Suites, Cincinnati, Ohio, for the provision of meeting rooms, equipment, and catering services for the Southwest Ohio Regional Training Center Foster Parent Conference to be held September 15th and September 16th of 2017 at the rates outlined therein, for a total cost not to exceed $23,277.60, pursuant to and compliance with the terms and conditions specified therein, and contingent upon the issuance of a purchase order.
Okay. We get a motion to execute the group sales agreement for the Southwest Ohio Regional Training Center for the upcoming Foster Parent Conference, as referenced in item 14.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Yubel?
Yes.
Recommendation of Judy Eschman, Director of the Department of Job and Family Services, with the concurrence of Thomas J. Eigel, Assistant County Administrator, to execute a purchase of service agreement by and between the County of Clermont, Ohio, and Children's Tours Incorporated out of Chester, Pennsylvania, for the provision of adoption services for a child in the permanent custody of the Clermont County Department of Job and Family Services, including but not necessarily limited to home study updates, home visits, monitoring support services, and providing written supervisory reports to the Clermont County Department of Job and Family Services at the rate of $3,000 upon placement of the child and $4,000 upon court finalization, for a total amount not to exceed $7,000 if the adoption is finalized within 365 days of the adopted placement, or at the rate of $3,000 upon placement of the child and $2,000 upon court finalization, for a total amount not to exceed $5,000 if the adoption is finalized beyond 365 days of the adoption placement. It's effective for the period of July the 10th of 17 through January 10th of 19, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions specified therein, and contingent upon the issuance of a purchase order.
We get a motion then to execute a purchase of services agreement with the Children's Choice, Inc. for the provision of adoption services with the contingencies as referenced in item 15.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Yubel?
Yes. Thanks, Connie. Mr. Grabowski.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Item 16.
Good morning, all. Morning. Agenda item number 16 is a recommendation from myself, Wade Grabowski, Director of Clermont County Facilities Management, with the concurrence of Mr. Stephen H. Rabel, County Administrator, to accept the proposal from Michael Schuster Associates, doing business as MSA Architects, Cincinnati, Ohio, dated 7/3/2017, for the provision of architectural and engineering services relative to the Clermont County Juvenile Court Facility Expansion and Remodel Project, in concert with the request for statement of qualifications, therefore, received on 6/1/17, and to execute the agreement by and between the Clermont County Board of County Commissioners and Michael Schuster Associates, Cincinnati, Ohio, for the provision of the aforestated services. Let's see here. Accordance with the scope of services detailed in Exhibit A attached thereto and made a part thereof, with compensation for said services identified in Article 11.1 entitled Compensation at a Cost of $344,250, plus reimbursable expenses in accordance with Exhibit A, with said services to be completed within 16 months from the date of the execution of the referenced agreement, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein.
Okay. Any questions?
Wait, what's the move forward there? Is this going to be general architectural services? Or are they going to be putting?
Architectural engineering and project management will be included in there along with my services.
Okay, they're going to be putting a complete set of drawings, bid package together, and the whole 9 yards. Okay, so it's conventional.
Correct.
Design it, complete it, CFC the drawings, and then
That is correct.
put them out for bid. Okay.
We get a motion to accept the proposal from Michael Schuster Associates for the provision of architectural and engineering services relative to the Clermont County Juvenile Court facility expansion, and then to execute the agreement as well as referenced in item 16.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Mr. Hubel.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wade.
Welcome.
Suki, good morning.
Good morning. We have a couple of financials in item 17. First, in adult detention corrections overtime, we're going to appropriate $123,151. This is actually related to the new contract that we did with Brown County earlier this year to house their inmates. What we're doing with that is we priced that contract in an overtime situation. We didn't hire corrections officers. We are paying them overtime to cover those inmates that are in there. Then we have in the prosecutor's DTACT fund, other expenses, $120,000 increase. This is in order for that fund to repay an advance that it received to keep it operating throughout the year. They receive their money only a couple of times a year out of tax settlement, and this will appropriate the balance of their funds. Then we have the Juvenile Court Computer and Legal Research Fund, other expenses, $1,000. That is a small fund set up by ORC, and it's only appropriating a portion of their available funds. And finally, we have in the Sheriff Contract Services, $5,235.95 for other expenses. When we did the Park District contract, it requires some additional expenses in order to get that officer, that deputy, up to speed and equipped for that contract.
Okay. Any questions regarding the supplemental appropriations?
Question on the Brown County. I know we help them with their inmate load that they have up there.
We take no more than 20.
Okay.
It's been running 16 to 20 in that ballpark. So
And they pay us a rate for that?
They pay us a rate per day.
Okay.
We are charging them, oh boy.
I believe it's $60.
It's-
I'm not sure.
It's in that ballpark.
Okay.
I think it's a little less than that. But yeah, that rate was actually calculated based on paying our
And what's the
deputies.
time interval that they actually pay us for this?
Monthly.
Okay.
We charge them monthly.
Okay.
Those three commissioners in Brown County are extremely grateful that we've allowed this program to work for them. They were transporting prisoners to Butler County daily. Even if they had sentencing, they had to bring them back from Butler County, then take them back. And
In fact, I was at CCAO and someone mentioned that, and it was, in a room full of county representatives, and they all said, we'll take that deal. And we were like, wait a minute.
well, I think we're at a rate which we're not losing money.
No.
So
We're
it-
covering our incremental costs.
And in the end, it saves them money and everybody wins, so that's good. All right, can we get a motion then to approve the supplemental appropriations as referenced in item 17?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Hubel.
Yes. We have need for executive session pursuant to section 121.22G1 and G3 of the Ohio Revised Code to first consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of one or more public employees, and secondly, to confer with the prosecuting attorney regarding pending or imminent litigation respectively. Can we get a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Mr. Hubel.
Yes. We'll be back shortly. Okay, we are back from executive session. No votes were taken or decisions made. And before we begin the public participation, I believe we have a Commissioner Humphrey would like to read a statement.
Yes, I would. Convention and Visitors Bureau was started around 1980. This is kind of background on where we are at the moment. At that time, ORC 3709 allowed the excise tax not to exceed 3% placed on transactions to transient guests. The 3% is divided equally between the CVB and the host township or city, 1.5 to each. If the township or city adds their own excise tax of up to 3%, the township or city receives the 3% and the CVB receives the entire 3% of the original. In Clermont County, each township or city is chosen to add their own 3% tax, bringing the total tax for transient rooms to 6%. No one had concerns with the township or city doubling the transient tax, but now some have concerns about moving the transient tax from 6 to 7% or a 17% increase. This is a long process. First, the state has to grant permission to raise the excise tax. They did that in the budget bill. By the time the CVB decided on their course of action, the budget bill was well on its way. The governor designs his plan for the budget and submits it to the House of Representatives for their review and changes. Additions to the language to allow the transient tax for Clermont County was added in the House near the end of their process. The House turns the bill over to the Senate for their review and changes. Senator Eaker made an amendment to the portion of the budget bill that set out Clermont County's excise tax to add language that made the contract time absolute deadline January 1st, 2018 for the completion of the agreement, and the transition tax would not start until the contract was in place. The budget bill was presented to the governor for his review and line item veto of anything in the bill. He did not veto the portion of the bill that has the transient tax. Second, the CVB and the sports team must complete their agreement and sign it. In light of the recent negative publicity, this may be a difficult task. The sports team may just choose another county as their partner. If and when the agreement is completed and signed, the sports team and the CVB will ask the county commissioners to place the excise tax on the transient guest charges for Clermont County hotels. The next step, third step, the county commissioners will review and share the details of the agreement and seek input from all parties before making a decision on adding the 1% transient bed tax. This is not a secret tax. It will be properly vetted when all have the details and can make informed decisions. It all takes time. The commissioners will not know the details of the agreement until the end of the year. So the commissioners cannot talk about it, or because we have no information to talk about.
Okay, we are at the public participation point. Yes.
If I may, we have the add-on and the correction.
Oh, that's correct. All right. Andy, go ahead.
So in the regular items, there in the personnel items, there was a technical error. Christopher Heist with CTC was listed as a maintenance repair worker 3. He's actually a CDL driver. That's going to be corrected in the minutes.
Okay.
The add-ons are recommendation to execute a settlement agreement and release with Riney Rady and Jamie Rady of Temecula, California, for the provision of full settlement of a claim resulting on July 26, 2015, as outlined therein, in the amount of $8,000, and payment of the final lien amount due to the U.S. Department of the Navy in the amount of $1,460. It paid for Riney Rady pursuant to, in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein.
Can we get a motion then to execute the settlement agreement and release of claims on the add-on Andy just read?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes. Okay. Now we're at the public participation point of our session. Do we have anybody that would like to participate? Yes, sir. If you'd like to come up to the podium and state your name, and you'll have 5 minutes to speak.
Thank you. I am Chris Hicks. I live at 444 Woodwick Court, Cincinnati, Ohio 45255. My phone number is 513-201-7902. I appreciate Mr. Humphrey's comments, but this is not about a secret tax. It's about a secret plan of which the secret tax is a portion that involves issuing debt. They know more than they're saying. At the end of the July 26, 2017 Commissioners meeting, Commissioner Ubel opened the floor saying, quote, "We are at the public participation section of the meeting. Any public participation." When I attempted to exercise not just my First and 14th Amendment rights, but the fundamental right of a citizen to petition government for redress of grievances without fear of reprisal, I was shut down and removed from the meeting. That was a violation of ORC 2921.45. It is contrary to the Ohio Attorney General's Yellow Book, pages 97 and 98, and it is likely a serious breach of 42 U.S. Code Section 1983. You, as my elected officials acting in concert, seek to suppress factual and damaging information from public visibility. As I was going to say then, and I say now, I am committed to being here whenever I can present updates on that you seek to hide and exercise my rights you seek to crush. It is now 52 days since Mr. Ubel offered meetings and 21 days since Mr. Painter read a letter promising an open discussion to which you all signed on. You continue to betray your own words. I will continue to seek redress of the very specific grievances, such as 1, transparency on the plan to subsidize pro sports, and 2, for Mr. Ubel to eliminate his conflicts of interest by wearing only one hat, and 3, the immediate depolitization of the CVB, and 4, transparency on the CVB. Now let me address the 3 biggest areas of grievance for which I seek redress. First, I have found that on August 20, 2012, Mr. Ubel orchestrated a county takeover of the CVB by replacing 6 CVB board members at once to create an immediate majority under the control of the county government that acted almost immediately to dismiss long-serving CVB staff. Those appointments were odd to say the least. The auditor and deputy auditor were appointed to a CVB board that receives and disperses taxpayer funds from the auditor's office, nearly $700,000 in 2016. Mr. Ubel voted to appoint himself to the CVB board, and he did so again on September 3rd, 2014. Not a single hotelier, restaurateur, venue operator, or retailer serves on our CVB board. What is the point? The CVB is wholly controlled and almost wholly funded by the tax revenue spent in secret from the public, yet seeks to claim it is independent. Those are grievances for which I seek redress. Second, I have been told by a first-hand source that the secret plan was first laid out on February 15, 2017 at the Port Authority Board meeting. I am told an executive session was called and led by Mr. Ubel, who is not a member of that board, at which time he laid out his plan to use the CVB and Port Authority to execute the secret plan outside public visibility, using the CVB to avoid open meetings and records laws. Despite repeated requests, I cannot even get a response on my request for draft minutes from a meeting that took place 168 days ago today. But that is like the county and CVB ignoring my request to see the CVB bylaws or any evidence of a valid non-disclosure agreement. Those are grievances for which I seek redress. Third and last, I had the honor of meeting the hotel manager Mr. Ubel threatened in writing to me and verbally to him for not supporting Mr. Ubel's 1% tax scheme. The evidence of the threat is plain in Mr. Ubel's own writing, but I found the manager's story highly credible. He has witnesses, and he provided some emails that set the time frames. Why is the threat to destroy the livelihood of this private employee not being investigated now over 80 days since it became known and almost 60 days since Mr. Ubel put it in writing to me? The lack of action on potentially criminal acts by Commissioner Ubel is another grievance for which I seek redress. Last week, Mr. Ubel spoke for all of you when he said, quote, we decided, you cannot say what you are going to say. That is a violation of my fundamental rights. In declaring a public participation portion of the meeting, with me being the only public person in the room and supported by Mr. Painter and Mr. Humphrey, has caused attention outside our area and offers of assistance for which I am appreciative. Gentlemen, I will continue to try to exercise my rights as a citizen, and I will continue to express fact-based grievances. You have the power to address them. You're going to set the course from here. Thank you.
Very good. Okay, we are, let's take a recess while the minutes are prepared. We are back from the short recess while the minutes were prepared. We have the minutes in front of us. We've had a chance to review them, and when either one of you commissioners would like to make a motion to accept the minutes, we can entertain that motion.
So moved.
Second.
Humphrey.
Aye.
Chapin.
Yes.
Yes. That's all. Thank you for coming. See you next Wednesday.
Motion to
Oh,
adjourn.
can we get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Chapin.
Yes.
Humphrey.
Aye.
Yes. Thank you again for coming.